Barnaby Jones. Someone to be scared of.
Barnaby Jones.
And his pal,
Starring
Jedediah.
Also starring Lee Merriweather. With guest stars...
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday afternoon, a gorgeous afternoon after French Quarter Fest. I'd say besides the slight rain delay hiccup on Saturday, French Quarter Fest 40th anniversary was pretty much a grand slam home run. About a 2-hour rain delay on Saturday, but otherwise pretty darn good. And I'm guessing, I don't know the numbers yet, 6, 7, 800,000 folks showing up for the free festival down in the French Quarters. Another great French Quarter Fest, another year. Jazz Fest, 10 days and counting. They crank it up a week from this Friday in Gentilly. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then the next week, the locals Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But before that, squeezing in a little Zurich Classic of New Orleans. I don't know if you've ever checked out the Zurich Classic, especially when the Zurich would run when Jazz Fest was running. Folks are just like, they're totally opposite things. They don't intertwine at all. There's nothing about them that's alike. I hear you. One's golf. One's Jazz Fest. One's kind of, I guess, has a reputation of being sort of, blue collar, the everyday man, or woman's type festival. The other's like, the elite, snobby, the country club sport. They've, put a little New Orleans flavor into the Zurich Classic decades ago. It's something the rest of the PGA Tour follows, what New Orleans does. I recommend going over there. I recommend checking out a little bit of the Zurich Classic. Even if you don't like golf, you like food, you like entertainment. It's the world's best golfer, Zurich Classic at the TPC Avondale this week. French Quarter Festival. I think a pretty good roll the last 4 days. And then Jazz Fest coming up a week from this Friday for 2 weekends in a row. We are the festival capital of planet Earth. No one does it better than New Orleans. No one does it better than South Louisiana. It's what we do. It's what we're absolutely the best at. I've often told you the story about some buddies of mine that live in other places, doing really well in other places. I'm not denying it. I talk about that end of the argument all the time. About the last 40 years of growth, Texas, the South, the cities, compared to New Orleans. But boy, the history and the architecture, the culture, the music, the food, the people, it's kind of tough to duplicate, come close to even getting in that stratosphere in other places, other cities. You almost have to have a full family ready to go. Maybe your family, her family, or his family nearby, and you're going somewhere where you're settled into that area. You've got your kids to raise. Maybe your business is located there. It's hard for folks to leave New Orleans and to not have that, kind of yearning to go back and at least get a po' boy, gumbo, that type of stuff. No, in festivals, music, food, the party, the parade, festivals, we do it better than anybody else. And yeah, we're like right in the middle of it. And it just keeps going and going. Bayou Boogaloo, Greek Fest, it just keeps rolling. Goes right into the summer. Big Essence over what would a few decades ago was a dead period over the 4th of July. Now it's a huge economic impact for the city. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Helm Paint and Decorating, part of the fabric of New Orleans for over 50 years. Helm Paint and Decorating. These guys helped me paint my house. I mean, literally everything. I went to the Earhart location, picked out the paint I needed. Regal Select, Benjamin Moore, the inventors of color paint. Lifetime guarantee on Regal Select Benjamin Moore paint from Helm Paint and Decorating. Lifetime guarantee. I'll never, ever have to paint my house again. But because Helm Paint and Decorating, Regal Select Benjamin Moore, because it's priced right, it's affordable. If in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, I want to change the color of my house, I can. Helm Paint and Decorating, taking care of me. They'll take care of you. 7 locations. Free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans. Do it once. Do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. New Orleans own 107.9 FM. On TV till 5:30, Cox Channel 4, Spectrum 333. KaareTalks.com, live streaming. We're on YouTube right now. Let's see, I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Willie Mays Scotch House catching fire a few weeks back. What makes their fried chicken different? What makes their fried chicken different? That's from last week. We don't get an answer today. I'm going to go ahead and answer that question. What makes Willie Mays Scotch House fried chicken different? That's all. What makes it different? And not the 45-minute to an hour wait time. Kim Mulkey's hometown, Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Kim Mulkey's hometown. Hey, and the hometown where Kim Mulkey was born, same place? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse, the steak sizzling in butter. The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse that started the craze, hot plate, steak sizzling in butter. Give me the answer. 50 big bucks for you at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. They got you covered on the South Shore in Metairie, New Orleans. Got you covered on the North Shore, Slidell, Mandeville, the new location. Got you covered in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. I got you covered with 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. You got the answer to any of those trivia questions? I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse for you. Bret Martel, another Martel Monday in an hour. About an hour and 20 minutes, actually, around 5:30-ish. Bret Martel, 25 plus years with the Associated Press. He'll join us in the 5 o'clock powwow. Speaking of, Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, 5 years, $255 million. 5 years, $255 million, about $180 million guaranteed, the highest paid player in the history of the NFL. Wow. 5 years, $255 million bucks. And think who's next. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. They're all probably going to get larger deals, I'd think, without a doubt. Pat Mahomes in a season or two, reworking the existing deal for even more money than those guys. Pretty amazing. French Quarter Fest in the books. Zurich Classic this week. 10 days and counting. A week from this Friday. Weekend number 1 of Jazz Fest 2023. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Old GQ, always getting the trivia questions correct. He emails us, Corey at KaareTalks.com. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. Corey at KaareTalks.com. Yeah, GQ, I'm not even going to give the answers. I'm just going to tighten them up. Get him a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate, but I'm going to leave those questions out there. Willie Mays Scotch House, what makes their fried chicken unique? Kim Mulkey's hometown. Where was Kim Mulkey born? The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse, coming to you hot on a plate in sizzling butter. Rouse's Market's phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a gorgeous Monday afternoon.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring, and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a gorgeous Monday afternoon. Great weather Monday. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate in the program, 766-9480. We head down to the parish, St. Bernard, where life is hard, hard, hard. Chalmette. Darren joins us on the program. What up, Darren?
Ain't nothing much.
Yep, I hear you. Nice day. Good spring day.
Yes, sir. Beautiful, beautiful.
It really is. Get outside. Enjoy it. What's on your mind, Darren?
Work. Headed to work.
There you go. What shift do you work?
Night shift.
What do you? When do you have to get there? For like 5 o'clock?
I got to be there for 6.
And how late do you go till?
6 to 6 for Brand Safeway. Brand Scalper.
There you go. 12 straight hours, man. That's a tough shift.
Yes, sir.
You sleep during the day?
Yes, sir.
Is it hard to make that switch, or you've been doing it for years?
Been doing it for years.
Do you like it, or you'd rather have a regular sleep at night, work during the day schedule?
I mean, I'd rather be on the radio or coaching. I'd rather be coaching somewhere.
There you go, especially if you get paid for it.
Amen.
All right. What's going on, Darren, as you head into work? It's like 4:20 in the morning for you, really, compared to everybody else. Anyway.
Right.
Your day's just getting going. So what's on your mind?
A steak.
A steak?
A steak dinner.
All right. what, you got an answer to our trivia question or something?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
What's the original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse that had the hot plate and the steak sizzling in butter?
Oh, man. I don't know that. What is it?
I don't know. You're calling me with the answer.
Yeah, I thought it was a hometown of Chris Kim Monkey.
Oh, we can do that too. You said something about steaks, but I'll go with the Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey's hometown. Where was Kim Mulkey born? I got a couple of Kim Mulkey questions. Which one you want, hometown or where she was born?
Hometown.
Where's her hometown, Darren?
Tickfall, Louisiana.
Tickfall, Louisiana. What?
Yeah, I'm neighbor right there in Independence. Ain't that something?
There you go, up the I-55, right?
Independent Tiger.
Yep. A meat.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Hey, Darren. Darren, you are correct.
Yeah, you right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse location, Darren. Who's going to get that? Your lady friend?
Me, myself, and I.
All right. Darren's going to use it himself. Darren, hang on. Darren down into Parish, Chalmette, heading up the I-55, maybe to Independence, where he's from. I'm confused. Darren, thanks. Darren just picked up 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse. Kim Mulkey, raised in Tickfaw, Strawberry Country, right up the I-55, outside of Ponchatoula, outside of Hammond. Excellent work, Darren. 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse. Is Kim Mulkey's birthplace the same as her hometown? Could just be a trick question trying to throw you off the path, and the answer's the same. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse, where the steak came sizzling in butter on a hot, hot plate. Don't touch that plate. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse can be yours. Kim Mulkey's. Where was she born? Where was she born? Not where was she raised. Her hometown. We know, Tickfaw. Darren just nailed that one. Hey, how much annual rainfall does New Orleans get? We were asking that trivia question because Fort Lauderdale had that ridiculous deluge. Once they're saying every 1,000 to 2,000 year storm last week, 25 inches in 24 hours, including 20 inches in 6 hours. Just crazy. How much annual rainfall in New Orleans? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse can be yours. Also, Willie Mays Scotch House, what makes their fried chicken different? What makes their fried chicken different? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers with you. I just brought my Breitling watch that I got from Ken Friend and Company Fine Jewelers a few years ago. It was losing time. I don't know if I bumped it or something, but they're going to check it out for a few days before they send it into Breitling and see if maybe I'm doing something wrong. It's automatic. You move your wrist. It's sort of self-winding. But I noticed losing some time. It is your Breitling headquarters in New Orleans, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. And New Orleanians that know Friend and Company Fine Jewelers when it comes to engagement rings, when it comes to wedding bands. Real diamonds, natural diamonds. Don't get fooled. The market's getting flooded with these lab-created, man-made diamonds that aren't 3 weeks old. Go with the real stuff, real diamonds, natural diamonds, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480 on this Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Bret Martel, a Martel Monday, coming your way in the 5 o'clock power hour. Did you make it down to one of the 4 days for French Quarter Fest? I mean, the rain pretty much stayed away. Supposed to rain on Wednesday, day before French Quarter Fest cranked up last week. No rain. Thursday was supposed to be a washout. No rain at all. Thursday was a fantastic day. Friday was sunny and clear. Saturday, a little inclement weather rolling in. They actually shut down French Quarter Fest, sort of suspended operations for maybe 90 minutes, 2 hours on Saturday afternoon, and then cranked it right back up again. No, it stinks. They're not bumping back the music. Then, hey, instead of 8 p.m., we had a 2-hour delay. We're going till 10 p.m. Those bands that are scheduled to play, it could be any festival. It's like a golf tee time. You lose that slot, you lose that slot. Not getting pushed back, not shortening up other, gig set times, shuffling up the schedule last minute. Just those acts are out. The sales of food and the like, it's not happening when there's a deluge going down and people are taking cover. But then the storm blew through New Orleans by, I guess, mid-Saturday afternoon, about 2. And that meant, another good 6 hours of French Quarter Festival. And luckily, kind of the ground's pretty dry. So taking in that water, that deluge pretty quickly. High ground to boot. Did you go to French Quarter Fest 40th year? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Zurich Classic this week. Bands, food, all kind of different venues, stages, and the like. That Acme tent right smack dab in the middle of the TPC in Avondale is a pretty prime location. Surrounded by, I guess, about 2 or 3 greens, couple of tee boxes. It's in a good spot, arguably the best spot at the TPC on the West Bank. For a lot of you folks, it's essentially not far from the foot of the UEP Long Bridge when you get to Bridge City, Fairfield. Go straight up to Lapalco, where it dead ends into 90, and take a left. Pretty quick when you go UEP Long Bridge, if you can go from that direction. Anyway, the Zurich Classic this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from the Best Bank. And then a week from this Friday, weekend number 1, Jazz and Heritage Festival 2023. And then the following Thursday, Locals Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, weekend number 2. French Quarter Fest in 4 days outdraws by sheer number of people. French Quarter Fest in 4 days outdraws 7 days of Jazz Fest. 7 days. Pretty amazing, to be honest with you. You want to know it's pretty amazing? Your neighborhood Rouse's Markets, over 60 Rouse's for over 60 years. A third of all Rouse's locations, 1/3, are in Metro New Orleans. They're all boiling crawfish all day long, hot from the pot crawfish, ready to eat, lunch and dinner, snacking out during the day. Hot from the pot, steaming hot crawfish for you to consume, for you to eat. That's what Rouse's is all about. Hot from the pot, fresh boiled crawfish, ready for you, coming out of that pot all day long. Like there's a crew that all they do is boil crawfish over and over and over all day long at each and every one of your neighborhood Rouse's. You'd rather get live by the sack crawfish from South Louisiana waters, take them home and boil them yourself? Rouse's Markets, live from the sack, live crawfish for you to boil. Best quality, best price, best selection. It tastes like home because it is home. South Louisiana, New Orleans own. Crawfish season, Rouse's Markets.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our Top Bench and More exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week. Lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Gorgeous Monday afternoon in the city of New Orleans. 50 big bucks at one of the area Woodhouse Day Spa locations is yours. The Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore. Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. Where was Kim Mulkey born? Where was Kim Mulkey born? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse is yours. Original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse. Steak sizzling in butter on a hot plate. The original. Rouse's Markets. Phone lines to participate. 766-9480. How many inches of annual rainfall hit New Orleans each year? How many inches of annual rainfall hit the Crescent City every year? I guess that's redundant if I'm saying annual rainfall each year. Don't need to do that. How much annual rainfall does New Orleans receive? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Willie Mays Scotch House. They say they're coming back quickly. They had a fire about a week and a half ago. What makes Willie Mays Scotch House fried chicken different, unique, compared to the average fried chicken? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Mandeville coming online about a month ago. East Causeway approach across the street from the Mandeville City Hall. GQ continues to churn out answers via email. Also, Ralph in New Orleans East with some correct answers, plural, via email. Corey at KareTalks.com is how you can email us. Corey, Kaare, Corey at KareTalks.com. By the way, our website, KareTalks.com, live streaming there. We roll till 6 p.m. We're going to Old Jefferson. Linda joins us on the program. What up, Linda?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Yourself?
This is my first time watching your show, and I'm enjoying it and making my day a little bit happier laying here in a hospital bed.
Yikes. I hope you're all right.
Oh, I'm all right. I'll be out of here tomorrow.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
I'd love to eat a steak.
There you go. Hey, Linda, spread the word in the hospital. Cox Channel 4, weekday afternoons at 4 o'clock. Corey Johnson will put a smile on your face.
All right, I will.
All right, I want you up and down the hallways yelling, bang something metal against like the plate they serve your food, beat it against the wall. It's all right. We're giving you the green light.
All right. The green light is Santa Ana, California.
What's that? Santa Ana, California.
Is that where she was born?
Who's that?
Miss Mulkey.
Kim Mulkey? How would you know that answer, Linda?
I looked it up.
Oh.
I went on the internet.
Hey, Linda, I don't think you knew the rules, but that would be cheating and would disqualify you. No intranet device.
I know that. Like I said, this is my first
I'm with
time
you. I
watching
believe
your
you.
show.
I believe you. You're saying first time. Yeah, no DuckDuckGo or Bing or Google or Yahoo, however you looked it up.
Well, that's okay. I'll go ahead and still bang down the hall, and I'll try not to show my, how these gowns are.
Well, there you go,
anyway.
Linda, getting graphic from Jefferson. Linda, I'm going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate anyway, because I believed you that you didn't know the rules.
I did not, but I'm going to keep watching you. You seem to be fun.
You're not cheating, are you?
Not this time. Not next time.
All right. Gotcha. Not knowingly cheating. Linda, hang on in Jefferson. Glad you're getting out of the hospital tomorrow. I was joking about banging the food tray against the wall in the hospital. Don't go do that. We're not responsible, Linda. You don't have the green light. Jason's going to get some info from you, Linda, and tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Linda from Jefferson. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. We'll stay in the parish of Jefferson, from Old Jefferson to Metairie, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic. Lots and lots of traffic. Bobby joins us on a Monday afternoon. What up, Bobby?
All right, Corey, how y'all doing?
Doing well. Yourself?
Fine.
What's on your mind, Bobby?
I'd like to answer that question about Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, what about Kim Mulkey?
I think she was born and raised in Tickfall.
Born and raised in Tickfall. You got half that right, Bobby. She was definitely raised in Tickfall, but not born in Tickfall.
Oh, okay.
I thought born and raised as well. Anyway, anything else on your mind this afternoon?
No, that was it, Corey. Just keep up the good work. Pal.
Thanks, Bobby. Thank you very much. Bobby from Metairie. I would have said the same thing. Born and raised in Tickfall. Raised in Tickfall, born somewhere else. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Yeah, got a little Kim Mulkey question. Willie Mae's Scotch House, their fried chicken. What makes it different? What makes it unique? The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse, steak sizzling in butter on a hot plate. The original. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. How much annual rainfall do we receive in New Orleans? Pretty much from like Houston to Jacksonville, Florida, up and down the I-10, I-12 corridor, the most rain in the United States. Pretty much Houston, Lake Charles, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Gulfport, Biloxi, Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City, Gainesville, Jacksonville. Pretty much all get about the same annual rainfall, maybe even like Orlando, Florida, all in this like rain belt. And it comes from, you know, what Houston's weather is. You can pretty much count in a few hours. That'll be Lake Charles, in a few hours Lafayette, a few hours Baton Rouge as you head east. Usually, most of the time, the weather pattern comes in from that direction. Annual rainfall in New Orleans. Just give me a guesstimation. Old GQ on the North Shore from Covington emailing us at Corey at Kaare Talks. I think he nailed it last week, even that question, if I'm not mistaken. Had the range down, I would have accepted that as an answer. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the reason we asked, they got 20 inches of rain in some parts of Fort Lauderdale, like by the airport, 20 inches in 6 hours. 20 inches in 6 hours. San Diego gets 10 inches annually. Los Angeles gets 15 inches a year. San Diego gets 10 inches a year. LA, 15 inches a year. Fort Lauderdale last week got 20 inches in 6 hours. Tom joins us in Metairie, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic, lots and lots of traffic. Tom in Metairie.
Let me take a stab at the steakhouse question.
All right.
I'm going to guess Chris's.
Chris's?
Yes.
Not even Ruth's Chris, just Chris's, huh?
I'm thinking it was before Miss Martel bought him out.
Yeah, I would think the same thing, Tom. Kind of like, Mulkey, born and raised in Tickfall. But that is incorrect.
Yeah, you wrong.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. I'll never forget sitting in the Superdome listening to the commercials, so they always blasted your eardrums.
Boy, they did the steak, the filet sizzling on that plate back in the day with the Saints.
Oh boy, it was. You almost had to go to the bathroom just to avoid the commercials.
Tom, during the Super Bowl at halftime, I was like, man, can't we just get the Grambling band back out there? And now you got me thinking of that little jazz pep band that used to play out there. Boy, none of Corey's ideas would go over too well. You're telling me Rihanna's not playing and they've got the Grambling band is playing, the actual marching band as the halftime show? And the music in the dome should be that little jazz pep band from the 70s and 80s. Yeah, not going over too well.
I'm just happy with the 5-piece and what they increased the 5-piece from the 4-piece. It was a quartet. Now it's a quintet, I guess, that play at the exit, the what do you call it? The entrance exit way.
Yeah. Those just hop in. I don't know how they must put in a few miles every game. They're all over the place. Each level,
and then that's spring chicken, so it's really neat.
Yep. Hey, Tom, thanks, man.
All right.
Yeah, you're right. That's Tom in Metairie dialing us up. Good try, Tom. Incorrect. Corey Johnson with you on a very correct Monday. A creature of habit. Yes, I was back at Fausto's. I was just talking to Jason during the break about the wonderful red beans and rice I had. Every Monday, red beans and rice Monday at Fausto's Italian Bistro. Jason's pumping his fist up in the air. He knows what it's about. Red beans and rice at Fausto's. A little panade chicken breast, Italian seasoning, Italian breadcrumbs, thin and crispy. Outstanding. The only non-Sicilian Italian item maybe on the whole menu. Yeah, it is some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. They open 5 p.m. for the evening in just a few minutes. Why don't you head there tonight for dinner? Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, WoodhouseBars.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's families, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday afternoon, 4 o'clock hour. Brought to you this afternoon by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, born, bred, based right here in New Orleans. They're still in Elmwood, about 1,300 employees there. A few hundred more off the I-12 near Hammond. That means East Bank, West Bank, got you covered in Elmwood. North Shore, off the I-12 near Hammond. They got you covered on both sides of the lake. And Latrim's hiring. They want you part of their culture of innovation team. They're looking for you. Not just a job, a career at Latrim. Not just 2 or 3 job openings. Dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings via their website, Latrim.com. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latrim.com. Check them out. 4 o'clock hour this afternoon on this gorgeous Monday. Perfect day. Barely creeping into the low 70s. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Latrim. Yeah, I mentioned going into the break, I went to Fausto's for lunch today, got red beans. I sat outside. You should consider it. One of the good silver linings from Corona, the coronavirus crisis, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, that 2+ year down period, strange period. I feel sorry for high school seniors and college freshmen, kids that are going from, late childhood into adulthood, missing those year or two in that at a key time. No, that stinks. But, you always got to find something out of any situation. It could be Katrina with the Orleans Parish Public Schools going away. But coronavirus crisis, it's kind of just like a nice plus as far as like in the luxury item category, kind of gravy lagniappe. It isn't of vital importance like the public school system actually educating kids, but it makes, New Orleans a little easier city. And it is the outdoor dining. I mean, look at New York, Manhattan. A lot of ice and sleet and snow and cold and wind and wet. New York City definitely has crappier weather than South Louisiana, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Yet, I don't want to say most of the restaurants, but it sure seems that way. A lot of the restaurants in New York, outdoor dining, blocking off a little piece of the sidewalk, outdoor tables and chairs, in the weather, in the wind, in the cold. We have much better weather, and pre-coronavirus crisis, there weren't a lot of outdoor dining restaurants in the city. It's insane. A city with our weather, and there weren't a lot of places to dine outside. I would say that has increased tenfold, like tenfold. Some folks have sort of taken over a parking spot or two in front of their establishment, or taken over part of the sidewalk if it's big enough, and just putting tables outside. Now, that should be a welcome thing that the city would push for restaurants. Hell yeah, we want you to serve food outside. Hell yeah. Not some kind of roadblock or hurdle. That coupled with high-end, mid-high to high-end restaurants serving to-go orders, where you can get a to-go order. Before it's like, you eat our food in the restaurant only. Our sauces don't do well traveling. Just whatever excuse after excuse after excuse. When New York has always had delivery of just about anything you could think of, including high-end restaurant food getting delivered into neighborhoods all over Manhattan. Anyway, a couple of silver linings, both in the restaurant business, outdoor dining and to-go orders. Even like a place like Treyen, curbside delivery, walking it out to you. You don't even exit the vehicle and have to enter the restaurant to pick up your to-go order. I mean, that used to be like, Outback Steakhouse type stuff, curbside delivery, TGI Fridays. Not anymore. No, thank you, coronavirus crisis. That's a plus. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates still available. 50 big bucks. Good at any of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Rouse's phone lines open 766-9480. 766-9480. Where was Kim Mulkey born? The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse, where the steak came sizzling in butter on a hot plate. How much annual rainfall does New Orleans receive? Willie Mae's Scotch House, what makes their fried chicken unique? Rouse's Markets phone lines. You got the answer to any of those questions? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate, 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. 5 o'clock power hour. Boy, that 4 o'clock hour blew by. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way next. Bret Martel will join us in about 30 minutes. Another Martel Monday. Get the latest and greatest from Bret Martel. About 26 years with the Associated Press. I was telling Bret off the air, I was like, Bret, man, I think I might even mention it on the air. Very, very difficult to keep a job with one employer for 26 straight years. That's old school. Used to happen all the time in the world. Not so much today. A lot of these youngsters, UZ-Gen folks, don't even give 2 weeks notice. You just walk out. What the hell? What the hell? Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Uh-oh, look who's waking up. Mr. Blue Boy, what's going on, buddy? Tell everybody to stick around. We've got the 5 o'clock power hour coming your way next. Lots of information and lots of goodies from the Woodhouse. Good job, Blue Boy. He's right. Don't move. Coming right back, New Orleans.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and we're maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans Visit portnola.com.
Being a part of people's lives from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
It's Friday night, and it's time for the Love Boat, followed by Fantasy Island. I think that's how it went down. I think it was Love Boat at 8 and then Fantasy Island at 9. Yikes. On ABC, home of the Love Boat. Life's sweetest reward. Where's Mr. Drew Brees, please? Number 9, La Jolla, California. Drew Brees. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees, bailing us out from the Love Boat. That was starting to get a little nauseating. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. On a gorgeous Monday, what a great weekend. French Quarter Fest, 4 straight days. They had a little speed bump they had to get over on Saturday. A little rain delay. But 3.5 days of really good French Quarter Fest, even Saturday. Once the rain cleared out of there and things started around 11 a.m., then about maybe an hour and a half in, rained for a couple of hours. Then by 2:30, it was pretty much high and dry. Sunday was really nice. Thursday and Friday were fantastic. Totally different weather days. Thursday never got out of the 60s. Cloud cover, but no rain. Friday, blue sky, sunny, and temperatures almost to 80. This week, we go from French Quarter Festival to Zurich Classic, the annual PGA Tour stopover in Avondale, TPC of Avondale. The Zurich Classic, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from DeBest Bank. Then a week from this Friday, 11 days and counting. A week from this Friday, Jazz Fest weekend number 1, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then, of course, the following week, Jazz Fest weekend number 2, Locals Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 7 days of the Jazz and Heritage Festival. Weekend number 1, a week from this Friday. Weekend number 2, 2 weeks from this Thursday. The Jazz Festival, coming to the Gentilly neighborhood of New Orleans soon. Hey, the 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra, right on the corner, right on the price. The car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner, home of the Lamarck Automotive Complex, the big store Lamarck Ford. Number 1 in the region. They've been at it for nearly 50 years. Lamarck Lincoln, number 1 Lincoln dealership in the state of Louisiana. The Lamarck Automotive Complex of Kenner. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, the legendary Ford truck and SUV dealership, now under the Lamarck umbrella. Out by the lake in Kennebra, the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Across the parish near the river, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood on Jefferson Highway. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour is upon us. Bret Martel is going to join us in about 20 minutes. Bret has been with the Associated Press for over 25 years. It's a Martel Monday. Yeah, French Quarter Fest went off without a hitch. Zurich Classic, so blessed to have. It's like a sports franchise. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the NFL, it's the NBA, but it's an official PGA Tour stop. There's a few dozen of those nationwide. Maybe, like an NBA or NFL franchise, 30, 32, weekly stop, something like that, 35. Then you got some other events, you got majors, you got different stuff. We've been in the PGA Tour rotation for the last 80 plus years. So it's coveted, and coupled with during tough economic times, you can have huge markets like Houston with the Shell Open, and like Shell's not the sponsor. Houston can't find a sponsor. New Orleans, European masterpiece. We get Zurich, this European-based insurance giant, just a perfect fit. They want to be in the United States. It's one of their big markets. They want to have a connection with a European city, ideally. Not too many to choose from. They like the affluent golf market. No, just a perfect fit. They put over $1 million into the City Park South golf course that was built post-Katrina. Yeah, those Zurich folks. So, no, we're blessed to have a PGA Tour stop in New Orleans, and we're blessed to have a great corporate sponsor like Zurich that's been with New Orleans now for what, like about 12, 15 years straight now? Maybe longer. 20 years straight? Just unheard of to have that kind of sponsorship stability like small market New Orleans has with this European worldwide insurance giant in Zurich. Anyway, a lot of folks have realized that you don't even have to be a fan of the sport of golf to go out and enjoy the Zurich Classic because of the food venues, just being outside, nice environment, music, bands, that New Orleans like festival flavor after each round. Yeah, they're doing it right. They're trendsetters, the PGA Tour stop here in New Orleans, showing other PGA Tour stops how to do it. If it were, flying golfers via helicopter out to the rigs to go, deep water fishing in the Gulf, and then flying them back by helicopter, just high-end, first-class, world-class type environment, and showing these golfers a great time and having them come back because of the hospitality of New Orleans. You don't want to miss that PGA Tour event. So, no, lucky to have that, like a NBA, NFL franchise. And I know the Zurich folks weren't complaining when the golf tournament would fall on a Jazz Fest weekend. I thought they'd like to be away from that separate, like this year. I think last year was the same deal. A few years back, it was about a 6, 8, 10-year run where the Zurich and Jazz Fest shared a weekend. But I think the Zurich folks were like, no, we do fine with that. So many folks in town for Jazz Fest, they end up maybe taking one day or a half a day and come out to the Zurich. Anyway, I recommend it. I don't think you'll have a bad time. Jazz Fest, by the way, cranks up a week from Friday. Young's Dry Cleaning, taking care of you since 1940. A New Orleans institution. If you like your dry cleaner, I guess stick with them. If you don't like your dry cleaner, why deal with that? Time to cut them loose, especially when you're upgrading to the best dry cleaner, Young's Dry Cleaning. Find out more, youngsdrycleaning.com. youngsdrycleaning.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Can you believe Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts agrees to a 5-year, $255 million deal? 5 years, $255 million. Averaging north of $50 million a season slightly. Highest paid player in NFL history. About $180 million of the 255, $180 million, totally guaranteed 100%. He'll probably get that $180 million in about the first 30 months of the contract. Like about 2.5 years in, he'll probably have received all of the $180 million of guaranteed money. Unreal. What's Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson? What are these guys going to sign for? It'll be for more. That's the crazy part. Hey, I mentioned this great weather. I mentioned coronavirus crisis, a silver lining, outdoor dining in New Orleans. Already done it once. Fausto's for lunch. Maybe I'll make it a 2 for Lebanon's Cafe for dinner. On the streetcar line, outdoor dining under the oak trees, where Carrollton Avenue is one lane in each direction, in between Claiborne's and the River Bend, right by the streetcar barn. You can't miss them. Big green awning, outdoor dining, indoor dining, to-go orders. All I know is it's some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. It's Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette, in the Carrollton section of Uptown near the River Bend. Corey Johnson with you. Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Yeah, right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. I got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. You got answers to our trivia questions? I got 50 big bucks. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, by the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse. The Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. Hey, no cheating on the answer. You either know the answer in your head or you don't. No internet device, no search engines, no DuckDuckGo or Google or Bing or Yahoo or any of that stuff. You know the answer in your head or you don't. As simple as that. No cheating. Where was Kim Mulkey, LSU National Championship Lady Tigers head coach? Where was Kim Mulkey born? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 50 big bucks at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations can be yours. 766-9480. The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse, serving that steak sizzling in butter on a hot plate. The original. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. How much annual rainfall in New Orleans? How much annual rainfall in New Orleans? 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Willie Mae's Scotch House. What makes their fried chicken unique? What makes their fried chicken different? It's something blatant, overt. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. If you got the answer, I got 50 big bucks for you at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. French Quarter Festival. I don't want to say going off without a hits. They had a 2-hour rain delay on Saturday where they shut things down while a pretty heavy thunder shower rolled through French Quarter Fest. But Thursday, Friday, Sunday, really, really good. And Saturday was still pretty damn good. After 2:30, high and dry, nice temperatures. It didn't go off without a hitch, but it went off pretty smoothly. 40th year, French Quarter Fest. This weekend, another Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday gimmick. The Zurich Classic. It's PGA Tour week over on the Best Bank at the TPC golf course at Avondale. 11 days. 11 days and counting. 11 days and counting. A week from this Friday. A week from this Friday, Jazz Fest 2023 weekend number 1 gets underway. 2 weeks from this Thursday, it'll be weekend number 2 of Jazz Fest. So last weekend, French Quarter Fest. This weekend, Zurich Classic. Next weekend, Jazz Fest weekend 1. The weekend after that, Jazz Fest weekend number 2. The city is going to be rocking. Coming up this week, you're going to start seeing folks tomorrow, Wednesday, international tourists. You're going to see PGA golfers, their caddies, their crew, some with family coming in. No, a nice little economic impact with the Zurich Classic this weekend. And then next week, it just gets off the charts. I forget the percentages, but they're double digits, like 10% or more. Jazz Fest customers that come from like New York, New Jersey, it's like north of 10%. The international European tourists, north of 10%. No, it's pretty amazing if you just think about that. 1 out of 5 people that you see at Jazz Fest either from New York or from Europe. That person, 1 out of 5 is either from New York or from Europe. Jazz Fest is giganticus for the city. The economic impact for Jazz Fest is similar to Mardi Gras, similar to a Super Bowl. It's north of $333 billion. More than $333 billion. Much more than a quarter, almost 2 quarters, almost $500 million. But definitely north of $333 billion economic impact, somewhere in the $400+ million range. Mardi Gras, Super Bowl, and Jazz Fest. Huge economic impact. Hey, Bret Martel is going to join us in a few minutes, another Martel Monday. Speaking of economic impact, Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, a 5-year, $255 million deal. 5 years, $255 million. Highest paid player in NFL history. Just crazy. We'll visit with Bret Martel on a Martel Monday and get his take on that. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now? Speaking of New Orleans, that's about as New Orleans as it gets. Katie's in Mid-City. It truly is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Just a bunch of characters in there. And it's not just the neighborhood restaurant for that neighborhood. Folks make it a stop 3-4 times a week. They're in Katie's, and they come from another neighborhood. Katie's in Mid-City. And don't forget about Scott Craig's other restaurant, Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview. On Harrison Avenue, in between Canal Boulevard and West End, the old Charlie's Deli location. That's what Scott Craig's got going at Francesca. About 15 different specialty deli sandwiches to choose from, or like any deli, build it yourself. Build the sandwich yourself. Pick the bread, the meat, the dressing, the cheese, the extras. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria. They deliver. You can check them out at francescadeli.com. Yeah, Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview. And Katie's in Mid-City, as New Orleans as it gets. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Where was Kim Mulkey born? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Where was Kim Mulkey born? 766-9480. The original New Orleans Prime Steakhouse, the steak was served sizzling in butter on a hot plate. The original, not the copycat. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. How much annual rainfall do we receive in New Orleans? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480, 766-9480. Willie Mays Scotch House, what makes their fried chicken unique? I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with the preparation method. I told you about Zachary's and now Little Dizzy's on Esplanade, about a block off Claiborne's in the Tremay neighborhood. Little Dizzy's, very popular, some great fried chicken. What Wayne Baquet told me is it goes from like refrigerator cold into the hot grease. If I'm grilling a steak, why am I going to pull that steak out the fridge, season it up, and throw it on the grill when it's refrigerator cold? I pull it out, probably when I'm dropping the coals out of the fridge, season it up, and it sits on the counter. I might as well get the temperature of the steak down. I'm throwing it on the grill. Why do I want it refrigerator cold? Wayne Baquet wants that fried chicken refrigerator cold. When it hits that hot grease, small batches, and you got to keep the temperature of the grease right. It sears the outside, so none of the juices escape and none of that hot grease penetrates the chicken. Just makes for crispy, not greasy, really good fried chicken. So it's going into the hot oil at refrigerator temperatures. That's kind of one of the little gimmicks, one of the tricks of the trade that Wayne Baquet does with his fried chicken. So that would be kind of an example of maybe, something during the preparation technique. Maybe it's something physical. What makes Willie Mays Scotch House fried chicken different? Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Hey, every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. That's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys. That's the number one air conditioning and heating operation in Metro New Orleans. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. You're stressed out if your air conditioning's not working right. You want it fixed yesterday. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's River City's Total Maintenance. You'll find them at NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live on radio, television, live streaming on YouTube. We do it from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint. Supply.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Hey, y'all, it's Junket Cantrell, Mayor, City of New Orleans. We've decided to hold a contest where you can decide where I go next on my taxpayer finance vacation. I was thinking about Acapulco, but that's in the Western Hemisphere, and we can do a lot better than that. Think Europe, Asia, maybe even the Middle East. You know, if it's safe. You don't want old Junket Cantrell getting hurt. It's all about my vacation, having fun, and spending the city's money on my entertainment. I'll be flying first class, of course, and I'll be bringing some administrative flunkies with me. It should only cost the city around $30,000, maybe $40,000. Help me pick my next city finance vacation. Go online, Cantrell Junket at cityofno.gov, and have a fleeced day.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Back at you on a glorious Monday afternoon. Get outside and enjoy this weather already. Pretty nice. Had a good Jazz Fest, or excuse me, had a good French Quarter Fest. Now it's time to get ready for the Zurich Classic. And then after that, a week from Friday, Jazz Fest weekend number 1. 2 weeks from Thursday, Jazz Fest weekend number 2. Bret Martel joins us on the program again. Another Martel Monday. What's happening, Bret?
Hey, Corey. How you doing? I'm doing good.
Good, man.
I'm outside.
You got to enjoy the weather, man. Smart to get outside. You're going to be.
Before it gets too hot.
Yep, exactly. You're going to be enjoying the Zurich Classic this week, Bret? You're going to be covering that for the AP?
Yeah, I'll be there all week.
Nice. You'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Most likely, yeah, and probably Wednesday, too, for the Pro-Am.
Nice. Excellent, man.
Yeah.
What's the highlight, Bret? I guess they've got, about half of the top 20 players this week committed?
Yeah, I mean, they had considering the changes in golf all around, they have a pretty strong field, and that it didn't hurt that they have Fitzpatrick coming in. Is that his name? The guy that just won this past week?
Yep.
I'm blanking out. They're I think the field is looking solid. I mean, they have the defending champions Shoffley and Cantlay and, Billy Horschel, Ryan Palmer, who always comes. Number of good players.
And lots of good venues. It's a pretty good time. We've kind of it's around the PGA Tour now, but 20 years ago, none of this stuff existed except in New Orleans. Kind of changed how you do a PGA Tour event.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of fantastic, tents set up. I mean, it's almost like you could call it Golf Fest or something. It's almost like the Jazz Fest model in terms of, tents that you can go hang out in and see people and have different kinds of food and drink and everything all around and between the holes. They'll sometimes have concerts after the play is done for the day.
Yep.
It's got a lot of that New Orleans festival feel kind of woven into the experience, along with some of the best golfers in the world. And when the weather's nice and you're out in that, kind of cypress swamp there, it's just kind of cool.
No, it is. It's you're not kind of in the city. It's not a golf course that's lined by home sites. So you're kind of, it's you and Mother Nature. I don't like the noise of the track built right next door, but that's a John Hilaria screw up, and that's a whole other program. Hey, Bret, it's a team format set up again, right?
Right. 2-man teams. Yep.
Yep. Which the only one on the entire PGA Tour, right?
Yeah. And the way they pitch it, the benefit to the players is that if they can demonstrate good chemistry with a partner, that may be something that the captains would look at for either the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup. There's that. There's the opportunity to team up with a friend and have a little bit of the pressure taken off while you happen to be hanging out with that friend in, one of the most fun cities to visit.
Yep.
In the world at a great time of year to visit. And, there's the guys who I think, the guys that come every year there, they really, really enjoy it. So, it's not, in some ways having a teammate can take the pressure off a little bit. And if you end up having a good tournament, you still come home with some really good winnings.
Yep. Bret Martel's with us. Another Martel Monday. Hey, speaking of teammates, let's shift gears to the Pels. They did not make the playoffs. They're officially ousted, Bret, and no Zion Williamson. The comments that Zion made, the 360 windmill dunks before the playoff or play-in game, kind of soured some folks a little bit on Zion, I would think, huh?
It did, yeah. And then you had David Griffin, the basketball operations chief, having to do a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it damage control.
I think so.
Essentially playing that, essentially saying that, just because he can do a 1-on-none windmill dunk at the end of a warm-up doesn't mean he's prepared for 5-on-5.
No, I think that's fair too, but it just do that like at the gym when no one else is around. Why have him out there before a game at the arena? Doesn't make sense.
It's almost like it's almost like he's casting doubt. Is like people can ask, well, that begs the question: is he showing up the team for not letting him play, or not saying he's ready when he thinks he's ready? It just begs all those questions, and and it leaves David Griffin saying things such as, he's like, and he was saying, I'm not saying you guys, in the press conference do this, but if you don't always look for the most sinister answer, you might not find one. Is essentially what he said, which is, that he thinks sometimes certain members of the fan base and the media kind of take this paranoid attitude towards every unusual development.
I think, I think that happens in all sports to some degree, but I think this is clearly more the Pelicans and Zion's doing than the fans trying to create a controversy, right?
Yeah, and I do too, and I think he even kind of backed off that a little bit because, and said to a certain extent, it is the team's fault for maybe not communicating as clearly as we would have liked. What exactly the situation was. The thing is, you have a lot of fans that are your age, my age, and older. And maybe even 10 years younger, it wasn't always like this. I mean, you had guys who could barely walk, trying to just tape it up, get shot up, and do anything they could if they felt like the team needed them to be on the floor. And so it's hard, I think, conceptually, for someone like us who saw guys like Larry Bird, right, play with a screwed up back where he had to lie on his stomach, on his elbows, like when he was on the sideline, he couldn't sit on the bench. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah,
early
of
mid-90s.
course.
We see a guy like that doing that, and then we see Zion Williamson, doing a 300, a windmill dunk, and then saying, but I can't play. I can windmill dunk it, but I can't be out there for, 10 minutes a half.
No, and then David Griffin just sort of explains it all, like you were saying, sort of putting, it on the media. And it's like, right. I don't know if you would have had this press conference originally when the season ended, or even before, and Zion wouldn't have been out there, kind of warming up with the team before a play-in game, then none of this would have happened.
Yeah. I mean, they should have told him, do as much as you feel comfortable doing when you're on the court when no one's watching. Like you said.
Yep. Practice
that way
facility.
We don't have to have all this confusion among the fan base when you're doing it in public. It just wasn't an ideally managed situation. And Zion's just 22. And so I think that, they probably need to, he plays obviously like a full grown man and everything, but he doesn't have I don't know what you were like when you were 22 right out of college. I think my perspective on life in general and my ability to self-edit is a lot better now than it was 30 years ago.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. No doubt at all. Are you kidding me?
So, I do think the team probably has to be a little bit proactive in how they manage this situation. It's obviously a very emotional one for the fans, who feel like they're heavily invested in the success of a team that revolves around him.
Yep. Hey, I thought the NBA I guess it was a creation from coronavirus crisis, this play-in thing. Now it appears that it's sticking around. I like it. And boy, this season more than any, seems like a lot of parity in the NBA, Brett, that a 8 can beat a 1, a 7 can beat a 2. It's not going to be like gigantic upsets if that happens. We're already seeing a little of it right now. It's early, but a little of it.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of parity, and I think the play-in has been, widely viewed as a success.
Yep.
And it's still relatively fair in that the 7 and 8 seeds have an advantage in the play-in.
Yep.
They have, the guys who would have been, those 2 seeds that would have been in the playoffs under the old system have a built-in advantage where they have a 1 game margin of error, like we talked about last week. You can lose 1 game and still survive, which Minnesota did as the 8th seed, right? So, it ended up being seeds 1 through 8 this year anyway. And that's the NBA designed it to be weighted that way, but to also give a team like New Orleans, which was a 9th seed, a chance to stage a couple, stage an upset like they did last year against the Clippers and have a very kind of inspiring little run there. So, they like it. And I think the NHL is starting to talk about it. I think the NHL which only has 16 teams make it and 14 teams miss the playoffs in the NHL. They're starting to look at this and say, well, maybe we can generate more late season interest in our league by having a similar setup. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that getting copied.
I remember the NBA, 16 teams making the playoffs when they only had 23 teams.
Right.
It was crazy.
The NHL used to have 16 teams make the playoffs, and there was only 21 teams.
Wow.
When I was a kid growing up in Maine, where everybody actually followed hockey, there would be 5 teams, or 5 teams would miss the playoffs, and 16 would make it.
Wow.
You play 80 games to eliminate 5 teams.
Wow. 80% of the leagues in the playoffs. That's amazing.
Yeah, so now it's still 16 in the playoffs in the NHL, but they've expanded by 9 teams, so 14 miss it, so it's not a slam dunk.
Yeah, and they're going to keep expanding, it looks like. Boy, Brett, the NBA playoffs are fantastic. It is and it's an entirely new season. It just cranked up, so it's from mid-April to early to mid-June.
Right.
It's like 2 months long. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, depending on how long the series go.
Yep.
If you end up with a lot of 7-game series late in the playoffs, like in the conference finals and the finals, it can definitely get to mid-June easily.
No, exactly. So, you earn that championship if it's like that too.
Yeah.
Bret Martel's with us, another Martel Monday. Bret, Jalen Hurts agrees to a 5-year, $255 million deal. He's the highest paid player in NFL history.
Yeah, and I think an element of that news is that his agent, if I recall and read correctly, is a woman. And you don't actually see a lot of women agents getting the main credit for deals like that. There are an increasing number of women that are starting to represent major male athletes in sports, but still a vast minority, or small minority, I should say. And so, yeah, I mean, it's groundbreaking in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that Jalen Hurts is the type of, kind of like highly athletic player who ran a lot in college that people weren't sure he really,
how it would translate. Yep.
Yeah. How would it translate to the NFL? So now you have a guy like that who's an unconventional quarterback leading his team to a Super Bowl. Didn't win, but got all the way there. And now landing the highest contract in the history of the league with a woman agent. Right.
Yeah, so. $180 million almost guaranteed. Brett, he'll get that in the first 2.5 years or so of the deal. $179.3 million guaranteed.
So he'll be okay. But
it's interesting, Brett. If Jalen Hurts is getting 5 years, $255 million, I mean, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert are going to be like 5-year, $275, 5-year, $300 million. Lamar Jackson too, and then it's going to be a Pat Mahomes redoing his deal in 18 months to make him the highest paid again. So if Jalen Hurts gets 5 years, $255 million, what are Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson going to get?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it'll depend on how productive they continue to be up until that. The interesting thing about Hurts and his guarantees is that, he does have a style of play which involves a lot of scrambling. I mean, I'm not going to say he's like just a read option one quarterback all the time, but he definitely runs. He's exposing himself to injury maybe more than the prototypical drop back passer. But that's showing itself to be able to win more now.
Yep.
If he can stay healthy. But it's a lot of faith, I think, on Philadelphia's part, considering the way he plays and his exposure to getting hit doing that. And we'll see if it pays off for him. But they were clearly inspired in Philadelphia by the way he led the team this year.
The Washington Commanders reportedly have a deal, Brett. They're going to be sold for north of $6 billion. Gail Benson's loving that. The DC franchise goes for $6 billion. Her team goes up hundreds of millions of dollars instantly.
Yeah, theoretically. I mean, there is something to be said for the established market that they have and the established fan diaspora that the Redskins have. I mean, that's always been among the most valuable teams. But I mean, Dan Snyder, it's weird. I mean, the NFL has just done so well, and this to me is like why people freak out when they find out that Roger Goodell makes more money than players make. Because they're like, well, he's just some guy sitting in an office in Manhattan. Why does he make so much more than the guys toiling on the field, getting their brains beat in? And it's like, well, he's the CEO of a league, of a collection of franchises owned by these owners who have seen the value of their franchises skyrocket so that Dan Snyder buys a team for $750 million, runs it very poorly and controversially badly with a bad working environment and you name it, right? Everything that's come out about the harassment and so forth. And, and they didn't win.
No, right? They didn't win at all. I think they've got under his ownership the fifth lowest, win percentage in the league since he's owned DC.
Yeah, and so he owns it for 2 decades or whatever it is, and then he sells it for 12 times what he bought it for.
Yep. And then the new guy's going to spend $6 billion and build a new stadium.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Getting started. No, it is crazy.
It would seem outlandish. It seems based on projections it seems tied to projections that are based on the recent growth of the league. But I don't know if you can. Sometimes you can't project growth out at in such a linear way, like it could, there's going to be a ceiling somewhere. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
It may turn out to be a really bad investment, or it may turn out to be, every time I see something like Jerry Jones spending, whatever he spent on Jerry's World, I think $1.2 billion on that stadium, and think that's insane. Why would he spend so much money on a stadium? And then you see that it's clearly paying itself off.
Well, that's the scary part. I mean, the Denver sale was $4.6 billion to the Walmart folks. This is going to be $6 billion. These are just sales. What's Dallas worth? $8-9 billion? The Cowboys? It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're projecting out a lot of it is just revenue from obviously a global television market. It's not just there's no way you can expect people to buy tickets and suites and cover that kind of inflation. But if the rights contracts are going up a lot, then you can see. I mean, that's basically has got to be what they're looking at, and we'll see how it plays out. But that's it does in a way it puts more pressure on the small markets to prove that they can make it worth it for people like Gail Benson to not sell. So.
Bret Martel's with us. Another Martel Monday. Hey, Bret, the NFL Saints draft coming up. What are some of the Saints' needs? D-line, running back, tight end. What are some of the needs?
Yeah, I think, I'm looking at receiver, running back.
Yep.
And defensive line, like you said, maybe a little bit more depth at end. It looks like right now they're prepared to bank a lot on Peyton Turner, who hasn't been readily available in the first couple of years of his career, but is a first-round draft pick. And Carl Granderson, who actually has done okay. And, obviously an aging Cam Jordan. They could use another end there for sure, edge rusher.
That could be their first pick, a defensive end and edge rusher.
Yeah, but I think very well could be. I don't think they'll make their first pick a defensive lineman unless it was just an absolute stud that it's somehow because of other teams' needs, fallen down.
Yeah, somebody they've got ranked in their top 10 or 12 or something that just happens to be there.
So, we'll see. But they could use some help at receiver. They maybe could use some help at tight end.
Definitely.
The secondary still looks pretty solid. Linebacker looks okay. Although Demario Davis not getting any younger, so and they lost Caden Ellis, so maybe they'll be looking to beef that area up. And you could see in the middle to late round interior defensive line as well. And then you got to hope. I mean, I know they have a lot of confidence in the left tackle they picked last year that was hurt most of the year, but we'll have to see. He still has a lot to learn in terms of pass blocking and so forth. So
you're talking about Penning?
Yeah, Trevor Penning, yeah.
Now, is he going to play left?
Well, I mean, Ryan Ramczyk plays right. I think the plan is for him to play left tackle. But, you got to be a good pass blocker to play left tackle. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went through training camp and then just tried, and decided to make a switch. But I think they want him to play left.
Hey, Bret, how can folks check out what you got going via the AP?
Sure. The AP News app for a smartphone is free and to download, and a great source of news from all over the world, or apnews.com. Obviously the AP is disseminated among news outlets all over the world.
And all the national coverage for the AP from the Zurich will be coming from you primarily this week.
Yeah.
Yep. You'll be covering all 4 days. Awesome. Bret, always a pleasure, man. See you next Monday.
All right. Sounds good, Corey. Take care.
That's Bret Martel, over 25 years with the Associated Press. Yeah, he will be at the TPC in Avondale, basically Wednesday through Sunday. Pro-Am Wednesday, and then round 1 starting on Thursday through round 4 on Sunday. What's that, Blue Boy? Thank everybody for watching and listening to the program. The $50 Woodhouse Day Spa winners. Congratulations to them. Good job, Blue Boy. See you tomorrow, straight up 4 p.m.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.